Hello gorgeous people, it is time to update my eyeshadow project. Here comes Miss Freya. You are gorgeous people too, aren't you? Oh yes, oh wow, yep, got me good. Ew. Oh, did that stress you out? Stress me out too. So I've recently been working on my tea eyeshadow palettes, which is really not much. I've got two from Too Faced. I've got one from Tarte. That is very, very far removed from what used to be in my stash. I can't believe I got rid of all of my Too Faced like tin palettes. That's crazy to me. Anyway, I did it. I don't regret it. And I'm going to get rid of more today. Let's start with the Natural Nudes palette. So this was the first one that they released in this sort of series of palettes. Really nice and slimline, which I like, and no like wasted space. There is a mirror on the back as well. I'll put up an image of all of the shades that I used in the palette. I quite liked this one because I felt like there was a nice array of like warm and leaning a little bit cool matte shades, and also the fact that a lot of these mattes are in that sort of light to mid-toned range, which just works really well for me. I find, you know, mattes that are too dark, I just don't really reach for them that much. I find them a bit fiddly, especially with the way that I like to do my makeup these days, which is just softer and quicker and less, I suppose. And the mattes in this formula were quite nice. They have good pigmentation, but they're not overly pigmented. They blend really easily. They don't go on patchy or anything like that. So I really liked that. The metallics, look, these are that sort of old school run-of-the-mill formula that we used to love. You know, they're creamy, so they've got good adherence. The shades in this palette I quite like. They're, you know, light, medium, sort of earthy, and some more jewel tones with like this sort of purpley one here, which swatch really badly. Of course you're going to swatch badly. And then like golds, there's some like pinky colors and peachy colors, and then we do have, you know, some darker shades down here. So if you're into darker shades, then the palette sort of covered those bases for you. Personally for me, like, I just don't care for this, but I really care for this. This I really enjoy. This is very wearable for me. I have to admit, I'm kind of over this formula. This is just so boring to me. It's so, like, just not, there's nothing super interesting going on there. But I have to say that across the board, I liked the formula on this palette. I don't think it would be one that I would reach for like every single day and that I would pan or anything like that, but it was easy. And I can see myself using it and like reaching for it in the future. Also, another thing, like the mattes is where this palette really stands out for me. And I can picture myself, you know, having this in my everyday makeup drawer for the matte shades and then reaching for more interesting sparkly individual shades in my stash, which I have to admit is something that's been on my mind a bit recently. Even though I feel burnt out by my eyeshadow palette collection, I still look at my individual eyeshadows and I'm like, oh, I've got some nice looking stuff here and I would love to have a play with it. And I think that's kind of because I'm so like tired of my eyeshadow palettes. I'm kind of just like, I just want to play with my singles as like a bit of a refresh. But the problem with my singles is I don't really keep any mattes. So I have to be realistic about the eyeshadow palettes that I am keeping. And I think this one in particular, like there's so many mattes in here that I really, really enjoy. The ones that just don't really hit the mark for me, and I'll probably never use them, is Swan, which is like a, you know, it's so silky smooth in the palette. It feels lovely, but like that's too light for me. And then truffle, which is the darkest shade. Like I don't need these in my life, you know. It's very nice formula. And I mean, maybe I would use it here and there, but I don't care for it. Do you know what I mean? Like I care for all of the mattes that are sort of in the middle of the palette. So I really like that one, and I am going to hold on to it. Even though the shimmery shades, like I just think they're boring. You know, I've got so much more that is so much more interesting. Then if we get into the Sunset Stripped version of the palette, so same format, you know, nice and slim, mirror, and no wasted space. Again, I like the mattes in this palette. I don't think they're as good as the Natural Nudes palette. There's something about them. I just don't think they're quite as smooth. They go on a little bit, they just go on different. It's not that they're not as pigmented, it's just, I don't know what it is. The formula, 100% the formula is different. You can even feel it when you, you know, like swatch the shades in the actual palette. They just feel a bit, not rough, just maybe drier, and like there's not, yeah, I don't know. Now, the big differences between these palettes, besides like the colors, even though the colors are, you know, they're kind of similar. I'll show them to you side by side so you can see them there. Like they're not overly different, but there is some different formulas in this one. So there's this like, they're kind of like duochromy sparkly formulas, and in the pan they look really nice, and I feel like it looks like they're picking up okay here. This shade is Shall We Dance, so there's that one. Then we have this one, which I quite like the color of. That one is Challier, and this one, this is my fave. This one is Sandy, far out, Sandy Cheeks. That's kind of like a nude with like there's a little bit of like green micro sparkle in there. It's so pretty. I really like this one in particular. But the problem is they're shit. They look absolutely trash on the eye. At least Shall We Dance and Challier, they just like, they're not, they do nothing. It's sad. I was so enamored with this one. I even took like a magnet to see if I could pop the pans out. You can't. So for me, that was just the end of that. I do also like, there's a particular shade here that I like called Surfboard. So it's this one here, this sort of mauvey purple with like a gold reflect. I think it's really pretty. And then, you know, we've got some other sort of metallic shimmery shades. The problem with this palette is the shades that I like in it, I really like, and I feel like they're a little bit unique to other things that I own, but I don't want to keep the palette just for those two shades because it's kind of a waste of space. And I mean, I feel like on camera it just looks like nothing special, but on the eye, these two shades in particular are really nice. Some of the mattes are nice as well. For me, it's probably like here up, and I mean this one, whatever. But like these shades are nice, but I can probably replicate them elsewhere. So I don't think I should keep this. I think I should get rid of it. So I'm going to. The last palette that I have is the Tarteist Pro To Go. Now, I kind of assumed that I would get rid of this before I started playing with it, but since I've been playing with it, I remember how much I loved it. It's a tiny little, like, I mean, it's called a Pro To Go. I feel like it's pretty much got everything that I need in there. The mattes in this palette are fantastic. I am actually wearing it today. The mattes are what's saving this palette for me. So we've got two like nice sort of easy to wear like mid-tone shades which is what I have on today. And then we have one that can be used to darken up a look if I want to. I don't do that a whole lot, so it probably wouldn't get used a lot. Now, the metallics in this palette, they are nice, but again, it's like what I was saying with the Too Faced palette. I am bored of this kind of formula. I just don't really think it's as exciting as it once was. And I have to say, like, these shades in particular are pretty easy to replicate in any like older collection, especially like my collection. I've got this in spades. I want to try and pan some of these matte shades, specifically these two. And when I say pan, I mean like hit pan, probably not pan completely. But I thought if I were to eventually bring this into a project pan, probably next year, let's be real, because at the rate I'm going, like, it's taking me so long to go through these eyeshadows. I'm just like, I can't find the drive to do it on a regular basis. I could pair these two eyeshadows with a hell of a lot of my individual, like, fun, sparkly eyeshadows in my stash, and just, it gives me a chance to like work on something and sort of go back to panning eyeshadows, which I haven't done in a long time because I find it exhausting and super boring, while also playing with my stash. And I think that's a reason why I don't particularly like panning eyeshadows, because if you take a palette like this and try to pan it, like, you have to wear it every day to see progress. I don't even put makeup on my face every day, so every time I'm doing my makeup, I would have to wear this. I would see minimal progress across the palette. I get bored super easy because I feel like I have no variety after a couple of weeks, and like, it's just not going to happen. You'll probably never ever see me pan or try to pan an eyeshadow palette like this again in the future. But something like this, where the pans are nice and small, they are colors that are super easy to wear and, you know, complementary not only to my skin tone and my eye shape, so, you know, not too dark, they're within that like proper color depth for my particular eyes, and they would work with a lot of like different colors. I feel like maybe I could have a go at trying to actually hit pan on some of these eyeshadows, these two in particular. So I'm thinking I might earmark this for trying to pan it next year while also playing with my individual eyeshadows. I don't know, I might change my mind, but I'm holding on to it for now. I am going to revisit all of my palettes once I have gone through them and, you know, lay them out and see if there's more that I want to minimize. Maybe then I will opt to get rid of it. Maybe I won't. And if I don't, I'm going to try and pan it next year. So those were my 3 palettes that I think took me like 3 months to test out, which was really good. Now I'm going to introduce 6, which I swear this can't take me 6 months to test out. I'm just, oh, I have to be quicker. Luckily, they're all small palettes. These are all of my V palettes. So I have Victoria Beckham. This is the Tweed Smoky Eye Brick. This is gorgeous. I love that. There's only 4 shades in there, so I can do like one look with that. It's fine. I have the Petite Pro Soleil from Visart. There's that one. Little cutie. These palettes are so freaking cute. I love them. And I have Spritz Edit and Paris Edit. Again, both from Visart. I think, again, like, what I'm remembering from these is the mattes perform a little bit better than the shimmers, and the shimmers can be a bit bland and lackluster, but we'll see how we go. I do have the La Marais palette. Is that how you say it? I don't know. My French is non-existent. And that's that one there. I bought this thinking that it was an itty bitty. It's not. I was wrong. I cried when I received it. Not really, but you know, internally. And then I have Violet Voss. This is the Oh Snap palette. This is, look, I haven't even used this. This is probably one where I'm like, from what I've used from Violet Voss, they're like eyeshadows. I remember them being intensely pigmented. So I don't know if this is going to go down a treat or if I'm going to be freaked out by it. But we'll find out. We'll have fun with it. Oh, man, if anybody has like the magic wand that makes it easier to have some motivation to like put makeup on your face every day, if you've got that, can you just wave it for me? But that's it, guys. I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you thought of these Too Faced palettes. Did you also think that one was great and one was a flop? Because yeah, my opinion on that definitely hasn't changed. And also tell me if you still have your like tin palettes. You know which one I keep thinking of? The peach one. Kind of wish I had the peach one still. Maybe I have them back at Melbourne. Maybe I kept them as like, I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.